Foundation board meeting. Liz, do you want to take roll call?
Yep, 1 second. Mayor John Ewing.
Jacqueline Morrison.
Commissioner Mike Friend.
Here.
Mayor Rusty Hyde. Mayor Doug Kindig.
Here.
Commissioner David Klug.
Here.
Councilmember Don Rowe.
Here.
Supervisor Brian Shea.
Keith Jones for Brian Shea.
Mayor Jill Shudak.
Here.
Mayor Angie Winquist.
Here.
Thank you. Agenda item D is approval of the agenda. So moved to second. Right. Is there any questions or discussion? If not, Liz?
Morrison.
Yes.
Friend.
Yes.
Klug.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Shudak.
Yes.
Winquist.
Yes.
Kindig.
Yes. Under business, item number 1 is approval of the April 23rd, 26 meeting minutes. If I could have a motion.
So moved.
Second. Any questions or discussion? Liz?
Morrison.
Yes.
Friend.
Yes.
Klug.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Shudak.
Yes.
Winquist.
Yeah.
Kindig.
Yes. On item number 2, update on the organizational assessment and strategic plan. Right?
So I took the grants.
Okay.
Good afternoon. So last month we shared an update on selecting a consultant to facilitate an organizational capacity assessment and strategic plan for the MAPA Foundation. We entered into a contract with a firm called EverStrive. They're based in Kansas City, and their team has a lot of practical working experience with interlocal organizations like MAPA. The project is underway, and we just wanted to share some key milestones and dates that are coming up. So we've had our kickoff meeting and have shared relevant documentation to the consultant team to help familiarize themselves with the workings of the foundation. They should have internal staff interviews completed either at the end of this week or early part of next week. So they've spoke with Mike, Matt, I think Christina, myself. And going forward, they're going to continue to review just documents of the foundation, projects and programs that have operated over the foundation. And 2 dates I wanted to call out, July 22nd and 23rd. The consultant team will be here in town to conduct some focus group interviews and then to facilitate a board workshop with you all. So hopefully you can take some extra time that day to participate. I think it'll be a very worthwhile endeavor. And right now, EverStrive is working towards the goal of delivering the final report in mid-September, and they'll be in town again that month, or maybe in October if that's necessary, to present their findings to you. So that's really it. I just wanted to give kind of a quick update on that process, and you'll be hearing more from us and the consultant team in the coming weeks and months.
Any questions for Brad? Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna have to mute I need to turn the volume on for Phil from City of Blair, so give me just a moment, I need to mute our YouTube stream. Okay, you can just close that whole bit.
That meeting on the 23rd, the same day as the regular? Yep, it's this meeting, just enjoy.
Great.
And if you want to move on, Grant, are you doing the fidelity
I am.
update also?
Yes. Okay, so again, last month, we shared an update on some setbacks and concerns that we've encountered with a rural workforce housing fund that we administer in partnership with the City of Blair. And just to give a brief summary, the foundation is the custodian of a workforce housing revolving loan fund of $960,000. To date, 17 units have been built in the community with that fund since the program began. The most recent builder, Orchard Valley, which is owned by Melvin Sedbeck, That builder has used the fund to construct a triplex in the city on a formerly vacant lot. But that property has mostly sat idle on the market since late 2024. At the end of last year, we asked the board to approve an amendment to our admin plan to allow the sale of built units as rentals. Originally, this was intended to be an owner-occupied program, but we changed our program to align with changes that the state allowed. And the hope was from that change that the property would move off the market faster. So the loan agreement was also amended to allow for an extension for the builder to sell the property as a result of that change. And that was through March 30 of this year, but the property is still in the market. It's no closer to being sold. And just so you know, under our admin plan, the loan disbursements are made upon completion of construction milestones. And so when a unit eventually sells, the balance of the loan becomes due to the foundation. So as it stands today, Orchard Valley owes MAPA $240,000. And last week, Mike and I met with Blair City officials to bring them up to speed and to just gather their insights. We asked the city administrator, Phil Green, to join us, and I believe he is waiting in the queue. So he's online, and before I step aside, Mike, is there anything that you'd like me to mention or anything that I missed?
No, I think that was a great, Grant. And you know, our conversation with Phil and the other officials from City of Blair was really about, you know, MAPA as the custodian of these funds. We want to make sure that this continues to advance the city's goals for this program. And we asked Phil to be here today just really to kind of give, you know, his 2 cents on all of that. But Phil, you are big brother on our screen in front of all of us. So you can add all your thoughts there. And if any of you do have questions for Phil, just make sure you turn on your mic so that he can participate in the audio.
All right. Thank you, Mike. And hello, board members. Number one, I want to just let you all know how much we appreciate the good partnership.
Sorry, Phil, one second. We don't have your sound on here.
Okay. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Will you say, tell him in your mic that we're not getting his audio?
Testing,
Yeah,
testing.
I did. Phil, just 1 second. Sorry, our audio in the room isn't quite working yet. Give us 1 sec.
Yep, not a problem. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
But do you turn the audio thing at the bottom left there?
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Phil, could you give it another try there?
Yep. Hello. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. Testing,
Showing
testing.
his mic.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, now we got you. All
1,
right.
2. There you hear?
Technology. Hey,
Yep.
we're working our way out of the Stone Age here. But Phil, you can go ahead.
All right, very good. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. And hello, board members. I just wanted to start off by saying how much the city of Blair values the partnership that we have with MAPA in lots of different areas, and especially with this one in workforce housing. You know, we were pleased to be one of the first communities that was able to get a grant, and between some monies from the foundation and the city of Blair, this has been a very successful program for us, and we really appreciate, like I said, the partnership and the direction that we get from the MAPA staff. Housing, as with most communities, is something major that we've really been focusing on a lot over the last several years. And I will be the first to admit that because of our emphasis on trying to see housing developed across town, we've probably not leaned on this particular developer as much as we will in the next couple months. So it was good to get a detailed update from the MAPA staff. And I guess I would just simply tell you that we have already spoken with Mr. Sudbeck. We are stressing to him that we need to get this resolved or get the $240,000 paid back. And we anticipate within the next 60 days to be able to do all of that. Again, we're not necessarily displeased with what he's done. It is a triplex, which I think the density is a good thing for our community. It's a little different layout right along one of our highways in town. So it may not be the best of locations for him to find people who are interested in either purchasing it or renting it. But we will let him know that the clock is ticking and he needs to get that resolved. He routinely talks to us about other developments in town as well, and we've let him know that every place else is going to be a no until he gets this resolved. But I'll answer any questions that you may have for me.
Yeah, and I would just like to just thank Phil and his team for meeting with us last week too, because it was good just to kind of level set on, you know, both the pipeline of projects in the community and really kind of closing the chapter on this particular part of the fund. As we've talked about and stressed in the past, when these funds are revolved back into the MAPA Foundation, the idea is to go back out with an RFP, identify a new development partner or partners, and continue to revolve the fund in Blair. You know, these setbacks in terms of getting those funds replenished is really a big part of that. Just one other update that I did forget that we didn't mention. One of the changes that we did observe just recently here is that the property is now actually listed with an external broker outside of Orchard Valley as well. And so that's a big change, and I think a sign of progress just in terms of, the commitment to, having these properties sold. So we'll continue to monitor it, but I think we're setting up a meeting as well with Orchard Valley just to, again, level set, talk about that. And, if that goes the right direction, we'll have a conversation at next month's board meeting about extending the agreement for a period of time based on that.
Anything else for Phil or for Grant?
I just had a question. Is there anything that the builder's not done that he agreed to do that would be causing this to be delayed?
Not recently. I think we highlighted in the past that there was a period of time where the units were, substantially finished, but a punch list from the city inspector had not been completed, for several months. We had coordinated with the city inspector just to ensure that, the certificates of occupancy. So, I mean, if we have a substantially completed unit, but it doesn't have a certificate of occupancy, there's no hope of getting that project or property sold. That was probably the biggest, I would say, substantive delay. There was also the issue with the property taxes, where we documented that for that period, 2024, they hadn't been paid. That issue was resolved. But recently, no. And again, I think part of it is just the intermittence by which it's been listed. We're having a hard time understanding, kind of the urgency with which it's being addressed. But I do think, again, that shift to an external broker is a big step in the right direction.
Any other questions? If not, thanks for joining us today, Phil.
Yep.
All right. Thank you all. Have a good day.
You take care.
With that, moving on to the next item, is there any further discussion? Foundation board? I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting then. Now, hang on a second. Let's see. We're gonna do the next part of this meeting with the public.
See, Keith, see all the fun you're missing?
I will move right in to the Metropolitan Agency, and this meeting will be held in compliance with Nebraska statute, so the open meeting now. For reference, the open meeting act is posted on the wall of the boardroom. Agenda item number 8, Liz, you want to take roll call, please?
Mayor John Ewing.
Jacqueline Morrison.
Commissioner Mike Friend.
Here.
Mayor Rusty Hike. Mayor Doug Kivik.
Here.
Commissioner David Klug.
Here.
Councilmember Don Rowe.
Here.
Supervisor Brian Shea.
Keith Jones from Brian Shea.
Mayor Jill Shudak.
Here.
Mayor Angie Winquist.
Here. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda? Second, Clue. Any questions? Liz?
1 second. Morrison.
Yes.
Friend.
Yes.
Klug.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Shudak.
Yes.
Winquist.
Yes.
Kivik.
Yes. Would I have a motion to approve the board minutes from the April 23rd, 2026 meeting?
So move Shudak.
Second, please. Any questions? Liz?
Morrison.
Yes.
Friend.
Yes.
Klug.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Shudak,
Yes.
Winquist,
Yes.
Kende.
Yes. And we'll start with agency reports, Mike.
Sure. Christina, if you just don't mind going to the first slide there. So just a few updates from the past month, a lot of news coverage kind of in the orbit of MAPA's work, a couple of NDOT driven projects and related things about the new interchange in Sarpy County. But then also the Highway 75 project, there were a number of stakeholder and public meetings throughout South Omaha and Bellevue for that project, and really just a lot of construction this year on Highway 75 corridor through Sarpy County and in kind of parts of Douglas County as well. And just again, kind of the routine concerns there just about, how the flow of traffic operates in those areas. But it's issues that are really central to some of the work that we're looking at for the Military Installation Resilience Project, that partnership with Offutt and some of the local partners around that, of just ensuring that this critical infrastructure can be operational and maintained. And so more to come on that. Obviously, the Platteview Road, South Sarpy Expressway construction as well. And so long-standing planning work MAPA did, nearly actually over 10 years ago now. Laid some of that groundwork, and then the counties continued to advance it, and we're in great conversation with the county about where we take that in anticipation of future federal funding. One note on that, the state of Nebraska did receive a planning grant for what's called Regional Infrastructure Accelerators. This is a partnership that Vicki Kramer came and talked about, Director Kramer from the Nebraska Department of Transportation, about 2 years ago. And MAPA and NDOT did apply jointly. They received that funding here recently. And so that work will continue really to leverage innovative funding and financing partnerships with local and state government. So more to come there, but South Sarpy Expressway is one of those projects that is a key element of that. Just an update over in Pottawatomie County for the Safe Streets for All. They're one of the applicants that we've seen locally advancing some of these safe system projects. Obviously, Omaha and Council Bluffs have been other awardees here over the last couple of years, but it's great to have Pottawatomie County stepping up for some of those safety improvements on Old Lincoln Highway. MAPA also applied for funds, but you'll hear a much more detailed update about that here later on the agenda. And then also this coverage that was recently from KETV on e-motos. This is kind of a new class of transportation device. It's powered by an electric motor. It looks a lot of times like a bicycle, but can reach speeds 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. And the use of these on trails has really caused a lot of concerns. But MAPA, we awarded funds through our process to do a study about policies and really trying to harmonize those policies throughout the region to give really local decision makers tools to govern these issues in a way that we're not kind of having a bunch of signage at everybody's municipal boundaries, but really trying to find that kind of bottom line, common sense way of managing these. Because while they do cause a lot of conflicts with pedestrians and bicyclists, they also are a very affordable means of transportation. And so really trying to balance those and find the right context for them. A lot of that's driven by speed. We don't need things going 50, 60 miles per hour where people are walking and biking. There are streets and they are illegal vehicles for there. So more to come on that, but that is a contract that I think you'll likely be seeing next month on the agenda. We've just gone through the procurement and getting into the details on that. So more to come there. Christina. One thing that many of you I know at the county level are involved in, that's all right. I'm having fun.
Communicating distance.
That's okay. There we
go.
Is the we're gonna get there. The regional health improvement program, health needs assessment, and so the county public health departments have partnered to do a region-wide health needs assessment over the last several cycles of this, really to sort of guide investments and make a bigger impact at the regional level. A lot of these issues don't stop at county boundaries, and while public health is very much administered at the county level, these broader goals really make more sense at a regional level. And this is a partnership that MAPA has been supporting through Heartland 2050. The latest CHIP, which is the Health Improvement Program, is very, very focused on issues that overlap and really help reinforce work that MAPA is doing around transportation and access. And really, as you may recall from our long-range transportation plan, just laying smack dab in work that we're already doing. And just highlighting here kind of in that social determinants of health about this mapping and infrastructure analysis, safety and lighting issues. A lot of this work has already been done with our comprehensive safety action plan that we completed last year. And it's really about how do we get that work and prioritize that work in partnership with community partners in the public health space, but then also obviously our local jurisdictions and members. And so a lot more to come on this, but we've been having a lot of very substantive conversations about MAPA's role in helping facilitate all this. And I think it's just a great opportunity to make more impact with some of the dollars that are invested with this CHIP process. Next month, we will be joined by our federal partners here for about a day and a half for what's called certification review. So MAPA, we're an urbanized area, over 200,000 residents. We are what's called a transportation management area for the purposes of federal transportation funding. And really that's a commitment to facilitating the transportation decision-making process. To do that, we get funding that we'll talk a lot about here in our budget that's upcoming to facilitate that planning process, and then also the dollars to invest in specific projects. And so kind of goes hand in hand. But in that second bullet, you'll note that really the certification review happens every 4 years to really make sure that we're doing the 3C planning process, which is cooperative, continuous, and comprehensive. We've got great partnerships with both our state DOTs and both FHWA and FTA. And these have been very positive the last several years, and we anticipate this one will be as well. But it's just an exciting opportunity. And one of the things they always like to do as a capstone to that, day and a half of sitting in a conference room with us is come to the MAPA board and really present kind of their findings, present what they'll be documenting in their final report. And so next month, you'll hear kind of those initial findings, and then typically about October timeframe, they'll come back with the final report, which usually is pretty much the same thing that they say the day of. But more to come on that. It's a big deal for us. It allows us to continue receiving the funds and really, I think, a good documentation opportunity for us to just, celebrate the work that we've been doing. And I'd be remiss. We have the upcoming NARC conference down in Tulsa. And this year it's a little different because we get to honor the MAPA board chair, Doug Kindig, with the NARC President's Award. And you can see a little bit about the criteria that NARC uses for determining this. And certainly it's true that he's made those contributions to MAPA in his leadership of both the Council of Officials and the MAPA board. But I would say it's equally true of his partnership with other local jurisdictions in advancing economic development priorities, infrastructure priorities with the wastewater authority, and really just a lot of varied experience and work for the community of La Vista. La Vista has found a way to step up quite a bit over the last several decades. But thank you so much, Mayor Kindig, for your service to MAPA, and excited to have our team celebrate with you down in Tulsa.
Yeah, and I do want to say that, first of all, I appreciate whoever nominated me. I'm sure there's a lot of qualified people out there. I truly believe that I'm going to accept this award for the staff, not only here at MAPA, but at the City of La Vista, at the Sarpy County Wastewaters, at the Omaha Chamber, at the Sarpy Chamber, working with them in partnership. But I also know that my job as an elected official is to give direction and support. The knowledge, the hard work, and everything comes from the staff. So this is definitely, it's a great honor, but I know that I'm accepting it on behalf of all of you guys and stuff, and I do truly mean that. So thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to be that young again in that.
You keep it up on the city website. We're going to keep using it. So just highlighting here, we talked about this a little bit last month and in several months, but we had the Detroit site visit. We're going to give you a full update on this next month. We got a lot on the agenda here today, but we had 20 attendees, including 5 MAPA staff, but you can see their profiles here. But just highlighting some of the things that we were able to see from everything at the new Innovation District in New Lab, some of the Ford-funded projects, a lot of walking and biking things, historic preservation parks, and other things. We were fortunate to have Mayor Shudak and Supervisor Miller join us on that trip as MAPA board representatives, which was excellent. And so I don't know, Mayor Shudak, you're the lone attendee from the board here today, but I don't know if you have any thoughts about the experience.
Well, first of all, I have to say, Laura did a great job of corralling all of us and making us where we are. And I think I was very hesitant when I heard the 6-mile bike ride, but I'm buying a bicycle this weekend because of the trip to Detroit. So it was delightful. And a lot of awesome concepts that we saw, trying to, as Constable kicks off their comprehensive plan, Brenda and myself and Susan were able to kind of talk through some different things that are very possible for our side of the river. And it was amazing to see the history and the revitalization and how they're really leaning into family-friendly projects. It was awesome to see Greektown. They're gonna shut down their main street on the weekends and make it like a walking pavilion kind of area. And I've been sharing my pictures with my staff for the last week and a half since we've been back, and I'm just very delighted with this trip.
Excellent. Thank you. We're delighted to have you. And it's a good one. And so, the site visit's something we've been doing about every 2 years now. Detroit is the most recent one, and, really setting the stage for 2028, where we hope to return actually to Salt Lake City, which was the first one of these that we did. And, we did that site visit really on the heels of kind of this big wave of investment they did in anticipation of the last Olympics they hosted. And now they're really ramping up for the next Olympics that they're hosting. And so a little bit of work there, and just really kind of telling that story. So much of what we've borrowed from Heartland 2050 came from Salt Lake City, and very, very important to how we've approached a lot of our work over the last decade and a half. So. And then finally, just on the updates here, one final slide. We do have our Council of Officials meeting coming up on June 10th. If you haven't registered, there's still an opportunity to do so. And we're really just going to be talking about some of the updates we're giving here today on Safe Streets. We're going to have folks from Pottawatomie County sharing their project, and City of Omaha as well, talking about their recent application for Safe Streets as well. So really just celebrating the first year of implementation and progress on our comprehensive safety action plan and the local partners helping realize that vision. And so I'm also honored today to get to introduce 2 new MAPA staff members. So we have Nicole Engels, who joined our Community and Economic Development team this week. So Nicole joins us from the Municipal Housing Agency in Council Bluffs, but served in the City of Omaha as well. So Nicole, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself.
I mean, you said pretty much everything I was about. I was in Public Works at the City of Omaha for 8 years, and in the Planning Department and Community Development for another 8, and then over at MHA for just about a year. So I'm very excited to do more regional work. And that's about all I got.
Well, thank you. It's good to have you. And then we have Mo Alabadi, who joined us as our communications and outreach intern as well from UNO. Just recently graduated, but this will be a capstone internship experience to kind of complete that degree. So Mo, I don't know if you have any want to introduce yourself to the board.
You took all my words as well. Yeah, I'm just looking forward for this upcoming year working at MAPA, and yeah.
Well, very good.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
And you would have thought we planned the whole thing, but one of the things we like to do for capstones of internships is we actually have Andrew Crescent, our current communications and outreach intern, who's going to give a brief presentation about his time as CNO intern as well. I don't have oh, it is there. I didn't even see it. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, perfect. There you go.
Hello, board members. My name is Andrew Crescent. I graduated from Creighton last spring, but I have been since working at MAPA, and I've really enjoyed my time. I had a few things I wanted to highlight just to discuss what I've been doing here, how I've helped, how I've wanted to experience. First was external agency work. We helped host the first UNO speed networking event with Heartland 2050. Saul Lopez and I really pioneered a technique that we think we can replicate. We surveyed students, tried to get their interests, what questions they may ask. We got information from professionals in the infrastructure committee, see what they could do to help give sort of perspective to students. We hosted the event at the Barbara Weiss Community Engagement Center on UNO's campus, and then used the survey results at the end of the event to put together an executive summary that we really think we can sell to UNO more often. We're planning to host another event on October 7th, I believe, of this year, and we're excited to be hosting that. Additionally, I helped to make a brochure for a ballot initiative in Eagle, Nebraska. This was very back and forth. I felt very fulfilled being able to help the community. They wanted to build a new fire station and convert their old fire station into a community center. So a lot of it was changing specific wording to help make it more clear, help sort of tell the public what we were planning on doing, and working towards making that viable. I believe I heard that passed. I may be wrong about that. It was 70%. I feel better about that. Internally, I helped with new hire materials. We had about 3 or 4 new hires while I was here. I helped work with business cards, I helped newsletter releases, I helped make social media for the new hires, as well as take photos of headshots, edit them in Adobe Photoshop. Additionally, process documentation, I've been working a lot recently, especially trying to help make it more clear what I've been doing, how the new intern Mo can help continue that work in a more effective manner than maybe, not that mine wasn't effective, but always improving. In my time here, I feel like I've learned a lot: public speaking, social media engagement, social media management, event planning, working in Adobe, helping others through documentation, and just overall learning the workplace culture that is MAPA. I felt very honored to be here. For future, I really want to work on my writing. I really want to go into news, something like that, especially in the sports world. I'm a big Creighton Blue Jay fan, so really working on that. But I would be remiss to say thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you all for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
We want to thank you. We want to thank you for all of your work and everything, and I hope it was beneficial to you. I want to compliment you. Your public speaking, you are very good at it. So if that was something that you've been able to either get better at or refine somewhat, but you're very direct, very concise, and I noticed that right away. As a matter of fact, I noticed that about the MAPA staff in general, that you guys all present quite well and stuff. So we hope that this was beneficial to you. Mike, I'm glad you got 70%. That makes that campaign probably a little more fun. It's always good to win.
Yeah.
But hopefully this was beneficial to you and the stepping stone. So we wish you well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Time to start a podcast, Andrew. I think that's what we're saying. And then just the final piece here in the agency reports, we get to recognize Elizabeth Zeller, or Smith, I guess. There's a marriage in here. I still have your old email address in my head. But Liz has been with us for 5 years now, and there are a few people that show up each day with the positivity that Liz does. And for the person who has a lot of interaction with our board, a lot of interaction with our members, guests to our office, it's truly it's an important aspect of the job, but Liz just says yes to almost every opportunity we throw at her. Christina, I know you had some thoughts you wanted to share as well, but.
Yes, I just wanna acknowledge the work that Liz does. Being an admin at MAPA is challenging. We have a very wide breadth of work that we have to perform, and our work can change on a dime and on a second. She is so supportive of the entire team. She has done amazing with the site visits and attending notes and being on the ground. And so when Liz is gone, I love to tell people that half my team is gone because it's just Liz and I. So being a team of 2 is really challenging, and I can certainly feel the pain when she's not here. She's just so efficient and just such a hard worker, and her positive attitude is one of the best things about her. So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge the amazing work she's doing and just express how grateful I am to have her on our admin team.
Well, good. Liz keeps an awful lot together. I know she's travel and everything else. She had to put up with me for the first year of calling her every name but Liz. That's my deficiency, not yours at all, but every meeting I would come to, I would ask Mike or Christine, I said, what's her name again? I would still call her something else. So I can't believe it's been 5 years.
I know.
At all. But you are a very valuable member of the team. We look forward to getting the picture and getting you a little gift card after the meeting, okay? Thanks, Liz.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
That's all.
That's it. So, okay, agenda item E is public comments. Liz, did we have anybody that requested?
No, we did not.
All right, thank you. Item F is the consent agenda. I'll take all of these in one request unless you request to have it full. Would I have a motion to approve? So moved, please.
Second, please.
And is there any further discussion or questions? If not, Liz?
Morrison? Yes. Friend?
Yes.
Clue?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Shudak?
Yes.
Winquest?
Yes.
Kendick?
Yes, and under old business, item number 1 is resolution for 2026-17, 2026 Transportation Improvement Program Amendment number 6. Court.
Is that?
2026 tip amendment 6, not a whole lot changing. We added a new project, which is basically just a roll up of some old projects, combines things into an STBG planning line item, just kind of simplify things for us going forward. Again, it's not actually any additional funding, it's just kind of rolling up some previous projects that were already in there. The Village of Waterloo and Douglas County, they had 2 separate projects. One was a trail project from the county, and then also River Road Drive project for the Village of Waterloo. Those are being combined into a single project, sponsored by the Village of Waterloo. So we're basically removing a project and then rolling all the funding from that project into that one. It'll just be called the River Road Drive and Trail project moving forward. And then a few other changes. Basically, we're adding the Reconnecting Communities project that we have received funding from USDOT for North Freeway between 480 and Sorensen Parkway. Then there is a project that's being added, the state project, NDOT's adding a sign structure project on 480. Then the city of Gretna received congressionally directed spending from Don Bacon's office through basically the congressional the community project funding program. So they are receiving, let's say it's about just under $2.5 million through that program to do an overpass on US 6. So there'll be a pedestrian overpass. We're adding that to the tip. Not really much that's impacting the regional fiscal constraint, really just that that roll up of SDG planning as well as Waterloo and Douglas County trail projects being provided. This is coming from a favorable recommendation from TTAC, and we're asking for approval today.
Questions or discussion for court? If not, a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Liz?
Morrison? Yes. Friend?
Yes.
Clue?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Shudak?
Yes.
Winquest?
Yes.
Kendick?
Yes. And item 8 is new business, my election of officers.
Sure. As we do every June, we elect our officers for the MAPA Board of Directors. Currently served as MAPA Board Chair, Mayor Doug Kindig, and Vice Chair as Mayor Angie Winquist. And they have both agreed to continue serving. But the action today would be to nominate and elect those officers for the upcoming fiscal year, starting July 1 through June 30th of 2027.
So moved. Shoot at.
It's the quickest motion and second we've had all day.
That's right. Thank you guys for serving. Thank you both.
Discussion. Liz?
Morrison? Yes. Friend?
Yes.
Clue?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Shudak?
Yes.
Winquest? Abstain. Kendick?
Yes, and we appreciate doing that, so thank you. Agenda item. Item number 2 is a new business on the benefit renewals, Christina.
Yes, and I apologize if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna drive and present from here. We have our FY 2027 benefit renewals that we're bringing to the board today. The finance committee has, and the benefits committee have all seen this, so no major changes this year for anyone that's been around the last couple of years. We've done some pretty big overhauls for MAPA benefits. Last year, we did add a secondary medical option. We added this high deductible healthcare plan with an employer sponsored HSA. That did go over really well. To provide an update there, I would say, I think it's around high 20% or around 30% of our employees that pick that option up. So it's really favorable with the staff. So today we're bringing our health insurance renewal with a 4.68% increase on premiums with no plan design changes. NACO does a really great job of managing those rates with a larger pool, and so joining in with NACO has been a huge benefit to MAPA. So no major changes to our health insurance, just the 4.68% premium increase. And we did budget for 6%, so we fortunately came in under budget for that. For our dental, no plan changes, no rate changes for that plan. So we do use Blue Cross Blue Shield, Signature Blue, and that is also in partnership with NACO. And then our vision is through BSP and no major plan changes there and no rate changes. We're on the final year of a 4-year rate guarantee for that. So I do anticipate we'll see likely see a slight uptick in our premiums next year, but the vision plans do a really great job of managing those. So happy to answer any questions. This does come with favorable recommendation from MAPA's Internal Benefits Committee and also the MAPA Finance Committee.
Questions or anything for Christina?
Good motion to approve.
Okay.
Liz?
Morrison? Yes. Craig?
Yes.
Clue? Rowe?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Winquist?
Yes.
Kiddick?
Yes. Under new contracts, Carlos, I'll take all 3 of these unless one of the board members wishes to pull one off. We'll turn it over to you, Carlos.
Cool, no problem. This is our yearly PL pass-through for TIS. We're doing maintenance at Douglas, Sarpy, and Potawatomi. The respective numbers are 44,100 for Douglas County, 31,500 for Sarpy County, and then 44,100 for Potawatomi County. Again, this is just our regular PL pass-through funding that we provide to our local GIS.
Questions or discussion for Carlos? If not, motion to approve.
I'll make a motion, Jones.
Second, Clue. Liz?
Morrison?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Clue?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Winquist?
Yes.
Kiddick?
Yes. Item number 4 is our 2027 TIP program, public comment period. Court, did you have anything you wanted to add to this?
Yes, a little bit. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily do anything up, but it should just be a, yeah, this is fun. Yeah, this is mostly if there are any questions, which we'll see. Hello again. So we've got the draft 2027 tip put together. There's a couple of things that still need to be wrapped up, but we'll basically put those together as we're kind of like going through the development of the final tip. I wanted to highlight a few stats. So we've got 9 new local projects in the tip, most of which have already kind of come through this process. Like I think there was 7 or 8 mini grants that were approved and added to the tip, and then there's a couple of new congressionally directed spending projects that have been added in. 20 new state projects, mostly system preservation, although there's a couple of larger infrastructure projects we're keeping an eye on that'll come. Will still be a few fiscal years before they get constructed. Overall, it's just under 700 million in investment over the next 6 years. And all of the regional federal aid programs, the surface transportation block grants, transportation alternatives, and carbon reduction programs are all fiscally constrained through 2032. This draft tip summary is available right now on the website. We kind of went through some of this stuff. TTAC had a conversation with them. They were recommending that we open a public comment period starting today. It'll run through June 22nd, and then we'll come back to the final tip a few days after that for approval then. Any questions on the draft program today?
For our newer board members, do you just want to talk about what the tip is?
Absolutely. Yes. So the Transportation Improvement Program is basically a 6-year program, mostly of federal aid transportation projects throughout the region. This is kind of like, this is effectively how we're able to kind of initiate, move through the federal aid process with transportation dollars, things that are coming from USDOT. Most of these things are constructed in partnership with the state departments of transportation, Iowa and Nebraska. We kind of follow their lead on a lot of this with kind of hooking them up with the basically connecting our local partners, all of the membership agencies with kind of how they run federal aid project at state level. So most of this is just us documenting, you know, how we're taking projects from concept all the way up to and, you know, kind of design and then ultimately construction. So we usually do an annual call for projects where we'll kind of review applications for what all the different jurisdictions are looking to do. We run that through a competitive process. We're kind of, you know, we look at what the benefits, what the outcomes of those projects would be. Do a comparison, take them through deliberative bodies, ultimately bringing recommendations up to the board for how we should proceed. The program also must include any of the federal aid projects that are being sponsored by the states of Iowa and Nebraska. So the tip also includes those projects too. So it's kind of like a catch-all for most of the federal funding, although we do also look at anything that's not federally funded that you might consider regionally significant, which it's all in a separate section from that. Is that kind of cover it? Yeah. I know it's a little bit more than that. We also do some performance reporting and that sort of thing, but you know, kind of summing it all up, that's about it. Mm-hmm.
Anything else for court? If not, did I get that or not?
No, yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second, Shudak.
Okay. Liz?
Morrison,
Yes.
Brand,
Yes.
Clue,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Shudak,
Yes.
Winquist. Yes. Kendig.
Yes, and Court, you want to jump right in on the next one, which were the amendments for recommendations for the TIF program?
Yes, I would like to. So during the call for projects that we opened back in October, we didn't ask for new projects for most of the programs, but we did ask any project sponsors to let us know if they had significant cost increases on any of their existing projects that had been awarded funding. We got 2 applications that were submitted. One was for La Vista's Thompson Creek Trail. The original award on that was about $1.5 million from the Transportation Alternatives Program. And they effectively need an additional $3.6 million to complete the project as they've gone through design. We kind of had conversations with our Transportation Alternatives Committee about what to do, whether it kind of whether it was meritorious to actually award the additional funding. TAPC thought yes, that we should. However, there was not enough within the alternatives program to cover the entire amount. So they made a request of the Project Selection Committee, which oversees the Surface Transportation Block Grant funding, a more flexible source of funds for the region. And the Project Selection Committee recommended 1.553720 in SDBG funding to go along with the basically the remainder of that would be TAP to cover the whole $3.6 million increase on that project. So it'll be a combination of additional TAP funds plus SDBG funds to close that gap in funding for that project. And then the city of Omaha on their signal infrastructure phase H1 project, they were awarded just under $6.5 million of carbon reduction program funds. They had a twofold ask. One, they wanted to be able to accelerate the project because right now I think the funds are programmed in 2029. And there's not room in the carbon reduction program, but there would have been room in the Surface Transportation Block Grant program. So we kind of had a conversation about that. And then there's also some concern that by the time this project would be ready for construction, that there would not be a carbon reduction program. As we're seeing things kind of move through Congress, that does kind of seem likely that that program could end up being cut. We're keeping an eye on it. We're not sure exactly what's going to happen, but the Project Selection Committee did recommend allowing that project to move its entire award into STBG, Surface Transportation Block Grant Program, in the event that the carbon reduction program goes away. They did not recommend going ahead and doing that in order to accelerate the project. So PROSCOM is not recommending we accelerate the project this time. But if CRP should be chopped, STBG would be on the table and we would go ahead. Note that in the award so that we can basically do that more nimbly as that comes up. So the recommendation basically from TTAC and subcommittees is to increase funding on Thompson Creek Trail and then to enable STBG funds on signal infrastructure phase H1 in the event of CRP going away. Questions?
Anything to report?
So, are you saying that, so for the city of La Vista Thompson Creek Trail, you're adding funds, but it will meet their full need or it will not?
It will.
Oh.
Yes, this will.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah, split between STBG and TAP. It will. There wasn't enough TAP funding on its own. So the committee that oversees that funding or that makes recommendations related to that funding basically forwarded the remaining amount onto the project selection to get a recommendation from them.
Any other questions or discussion? Motion to approve.
Second, Shudak.
Morrison? Yes. Brent?
Yes.
Clue?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Shudak?
Yes.
Winquist? Yes. Kindig?
Yes. Thank you, Cora. And agenda or item number 6 is our work program and budget. And I'll take all of these in one vote unless a board member wants to resolution specific on.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait for the slide deck to come up, but just in front of you, you do have a packet with our entire budget packet as it was sent out to you on Friday. And just walking through this, most of this is a restatement of the same thing in different ways. I'm going to be briefing you mostly from the line item budget because I think it most simply kind of shows you the revenues and the expenditures in a way that's digestible. And I'll highlight the places where you can note all of those, and I'll have it up here on the slides as well. But this also does include our Unified Planning Work Program and our Community Development Work Program, which are really just those transportation and community development specific breakdowns of this same information, really kind of showing you those sources and uses of funds for MAPA's programs, really kind of more by the department level. Our budget comes here at the end of our budget schedule. So back in December and January, we talked a little bit about our budget schedule for the year. In March, we bring that draft work program, which is due April 1 to our state and federal partners. That statement of work for our regional planning funding, which Carlos briefed you on some of that use here for the upcoming year. In April, we bring kind of the more detailed MAPA operating budgets, the full agency perspective in the form of the funds, line item, and program budgets. And then here in May, we have those kind of come back together. So we have the final budgets for the agency, which are here in the packet. And then those work programs, which are those more unique statements of work for our partners. The budget, largely the same from last month, though some refinements, mostly in the downward trajectory. The revenues, 9.4 million. You can see the breakdown there. A large portion of this, the predominant portion of this is state and federal revenue. And we put state and federal in the same line item. It's almost entirely federal revenue, and we'll get into that here a little bit down the road as well. And then we have really the other ways that we match those funds through in-kind revenues, match contributions from our members, other local government revenues. So these would be some of the third-party match we use through our NIROC aerial photography program. And then those service charges, those things that MAPA charges for our activities or other activities. And then we have the fund transfers and adjustments. Those will be easier to brief on the line item budget. And then going down here too, just on the expense side of things, $3.3 million in labor expenses. That includes all those salary and benefits. I'll get into that in a little more detail here as well. And then those non-labor expenses, MAPA's general operating costs and other things related to purchases and direct costs, indirect costs, and other things. A large portion of our budget, though, does go to the procurement and subawards. So whether it's pass-through agreements like Carlos briefed on, or those consultant agreements that MAPA does on either our own behalf at the regional level or on the behalf of our members through our mini grant programs, a big portion of our budget is that kind of pass-through and procurement. And then again, those fund adjustments and transfers there as well. So all of these things have a start date of July 1, go through June 30 of next year. And I'll highlight some of the key differences from last month. So talked about this back in March, but we sort of view the strategic plan and the budget as being really deeply linked. We try to be responsive. The MAPA board has our strategic plan and kind of highlighting those areas that you've all stated you want staff to be making an impact. We do that kind of member survey once a year, but that outreach on a more continuous basis. And then really translating those into the overall MAPA budget and really those almost sub-ledgers of the budget in our work programs that really get down to the brass tacks of where we're going to be spending our time and resources over the next year. And you'll note, this is kind of the end of that process as we work to implement all of this here by June 30th. On the community development side of things, largely unchanged from March, but a lot of what we continue to do on an ongoing basis, the grant writing and administration on behalf of our members and for some MAPA related projects. We have the foundation strategic plan, which Grant highlighted the timeline of here earlier. A lot of work on just disaster preparedness and response and an increasing focus on some of the pre-disaster planning that we can really help support our county EMA agencies really outside of the, in the blue sky, as they like to say, and really just trying to find some of those ways that we can work better together and provide resources where we can make an impact. Just a lot of community assistance and training opportunities. So, coming up on an election year here for a lot of local officials. And so typically after these kind of even number year elections, we do a wave of training for elected and appointed officials, and something we really try to focus on and give folks an opportunity to, step up in their role and understand some of those opportunities. So more to that to come. And then the military installation readiness project. This is that partnership with Offutt Air Force Base. We submitted kind of a 2-page summary for phase 1, which is really about some of the critical infrastructure serving Offutt Air Force Base, some continued planning and support for encroachments, kind of things that may potentially get in the way of their current missions and future missions, and really just finding that kind of work plan and action plan to support that work. This builds on the joint land use study that MAPA did about 10 years ago, and just a great partnership with a lot of energy around it. We anticipate that'll take place sometime in calendar year 2027, but you see it reflected here because our fiscal year overlaps with that. And then brownfield. So we submitted an application back in January for a brownfields project in partnership with the city of Omaha. And we're anticipating that those funds will be notified in June and released in October. So more work there coming as well. On the transportation side of things, you're going to be hearing a lot about the TRIPS project. This is that additional federal award we received to really modernize and transform the process by which we really learn about all these local priorities and can try to accelerate those and make the most out of the federal funding that we have and compete better on a national stage. Court and Carlos, you're going to hear about TRIPS a lot in the upcoming year. And if you come on June 10th, you'll hear about it as well at our Council of Officials meeting. A big portion of the flexibility we have in our work program, which as you can see in our budget, is around complete streets support. Those activities do not require federal, non-federal match. And so where we can support the complete streets process at the local level or the regional level, we can use those funds without additional local match, which is the savings to all the member communities and partners that provide match for our activities. A lot of safety planning, regional support. We're going to hear about all of the things that are going on with our Safe Streets for All at that June 10th meeting as well. The Reconnecting Communities Project, which Carlos and Court both, or I should say Court mentioned in that TIP amendment, really a transformative partnership with the city of Omaha and NDOT to take a look at the North Freeway in Omaha and really try to put forward a vision of how that project and corridor might evolve over time, and a great partnership there with a large federal award. And then the regional freight plan, which Carlos and his team are really leading here in partnership with people, not just in the MPO area, but some of the surrounding communities like Blair and Fremont that have a lot of industrial uses going forward. And then as always, data is such an important part of the work we do, and really looking for opportunities to leverage some of these more routinely captured big data resources, whether that's things like the streetlight data that we've highlighted here at the board meeting in the past, but also just making better use of the tools and resources that we have and try to make those useful for decision making at the local level. So just an overview here as we stand in May. The major changes from April, we really looked at kind of that statement of work and tried to narrow it down as much as we could. We start kind of broad and we continue kind of narrowing it down through that funnel. And so we've taken some projects that we don't think are going to be fully executed in FY27 and walked those back where we could. We did finalize that FY27 benefit offering that Christina highlighted. So we had budgeted in the draft for a 6% increase, backed that off to that 4.8 for the final piece there. We refined those work activities for MAPA staff, including some of those purchases and more routine contracting items. And then the personnel budget. We eliminated an anticipated GIS internship. We're actually currently hiring for a GIS tech position, which is a very entry-level role. And so as we're getting that person on board, kind of taking that internship opportunity off the budget for this year, which is just a great opportunity for us to spend time and focus on that new staff. And then we updated and are presenting here today that cash reserve plan based on those anticipated projects. One major change, though, just on that state and federal line item I highlighted before, the legislature had a $350,000 line item for Iowa's 17 councils of government, and that line item was eliminated out of the economic development budget in the passage of the final budget this year. And so for this year, for the first time in a long time, we actually don't have any state support from the state of Iowa. It only ever amounted to $22,000. We're splitting $350,000 17 ways, but those flexible non-federal dollars, we cherish them because they allow us to be very flexible in how we use those to match federal dollars, which highlighted here in the budget is the major portion of what we use. And so let's talk a little bit more about that as we get into this, but it's a meaningful change, but something we hope will be reversed here in future years. Just navigating these tables, the action here today is on the FY27 budget, which is the blue columns in all of these tables. We're also kind of proposing to close out an amendment to FY26, which is that dark shaded gold column in all of these tables as well. And this really is the difference between where we started the year and are amending the year and really trying to harmonize those things here for that June 30 to July 1. If you've been around MAPA, our work is very continuous. And what we end up doing is really trying to forecast out about a month to where we'll end up at June 30th and giving ourselves the most flexibility to kind of pick up that work and continue on July 1. So the final budget overview here on the labor expenses and non-labor expenses, not a lot of change from last month, but you'll see there at the bottom, hold on, I got it's blocked here on my screen. I want to make sure I read that's okay. I should have it memorized by now, but I don't. So yeah, labor expenses, you can see there that $3.3 million number. The non-labor expenses, that includes all of the activities around engagements and forums, those office expenses, travel and professional development, totaling about $922,000 in total for kind of that total above the line, as we call it here within MAPA, of about $5 million total. And then, or excuse me, not 5 million, $4.1 million, excuse me. And then for the procurements and subawards, that $5 million number, most of that going to contracts and subrecipients and those subawards, some of which Carlos briefed here today as well. Going through to the next, actually I have it, don't I? What am I talking about? Going to the next slide here, we have those cash transfers. Some of this is really just helping us kind of manage the things. We have the officials fund there, which we bring up to $15,000. That covers the travel of our MAPA board members to conferences like the NARC conference that we do in February and June each year, in addition to the site visit. So we were able to sponsor those pieces as well, and just really an opportunity for our board members to get engaged in our work. That overall above the line budget includes 28 FTEs. I did forget to mention that. So that is up 1 from this past year. So kind of we're hiring in this current year for the next year. And then a reduction of that temporary position, as I mentioned, just to kind of harmonize with where we're going to be able to spend staff effort as well. That additional FTE is really driven by that large trips project, the Reconnecting Communities project, a lot of these major transportation grants, those new revenues that allow us to staff up to actually do and deliver that work, but also require us to go out and hire people, which is a challenge. The cash reserve plan, I'll brief here on the next slide, but it includes continuation of some projects like our office remodel, which the board has already approved, but will be implemented here in the next year, and then some major projects that I'll brief here at the end. So at the bottom here, I didn't update this slide, but the paper in front of you actually doesn't show this cash adjusted surplus or deficit. That really is that equivalent number there to that COG assistance. We under execute on our budget every year. We kind of start wide. We try to give ourselves most flexibility to execute where things are. we presented this to the finance committee, and we said we would just be able to absorb that, like that's not going to be an issue come the end of the year. I did show it here in the upcoming cash reserve plan, showing where that is a general operating fund deficit to give us the flexibility. Again, Matt can provide some more detail on that if you'd like, but when we had the conversation with the finance committee, so much of what we're doing is in anticipation of larger projects. $22,000 by the end of the year for us is not really a large amount that we're anticipating. I did want to here show it in terms of the cash reserve, just where those dollars would come from. If we did reach that point, that would be an additional decision point by this board to make those dollars available. But the piece here is really, we don't anticipate that being a huge issue, but we like to have things staged in our budget with our federal partners in particular so that we don't have to come back and change things if we over execute. It just gives us a little bit more flexibility down the line. The MAPA cash reserve, this is the fund that we have really put in the hands each year of the MAPA board. It's currently, as of July 1, anticipated to be right about $2.2 million. Most of that is invested in the laddered reserves. We brief those to the finance committee each month, but really kind of successive maturity dates for different types of investments through the Nebraska Public Agency Investment Trust allows us to get those investment earnings, which you see as the anticipated inlays, a little bit less than past years, just because we're seeing interest rates and the returns on some of those CDs abate, but still significant. And then the anticipated outlays, which are briefed here at the bottom, the continuation of that kind of capital investment in the employee workstations. Most of this is related to the build out of our office for the deputy director position, which we've talked about here in the board, and building a new office, but also making some other changes to workstations to accommodate that. We also have the Reconnecting Communities Program match, which in the past we had in our UPWP, but when dollars aren't used in our UPWP in a given year, they go into the cash reserve. And so really the timing of this, the delay of the award for the MAPA, for this award from USDOT, just showing those funds as being available this year to match that agreement with NDOT, an equivalent amount of match coming from the city of Omaha, match that federal award with NDOT being the lead agency on that project. And then just that general fund deficit there, again, not an issue that we anticipate coming up later in the year, but something that allows us to have our budget be as flexible to support our implementation of work here in the coming year. And I think that's my last slide. But I'm happy to provide any additional detail on anything that anyone has any questions on. This is really, this comes with a favorable recommendation from the Finance Committee. And with your approval today, we'd work towards both implementing this before June 30th for a number of our pass-through agreements, kind of the continuation of what Carlos had done there, but then also submission to our state and federal partners on the transportation side of things.
I just have one quick question.
Yeah.
Is it a coincidence that our general fund deficit is 22,000 and not the bottom did not fund, or is that kind of what?
Yeah, rather than trying to redo all the work that came in really at the end of the April when the legislature closed, and so it's one of those things that many years we overperform on the contract revenue. We don't put a ton of the contracts that come off the street from our members in here as anticipated because it kind of inflates where we're able to show staffing and other things. So we try to have a very conservative budget that doesn't show things that aren't really in the pipeline yet. But yes, that number is equivalent largely because that came in very late in the budget process and something that we can absorb. We don't like absorbing it, but it is a less flexible dollar. So the things that we will be doing this year, we will be constrained by that because most of that gets turned into $5 worth of spending by matching it with federal dollars. But yes, it's not coincidental.
Okay. Any other questions for Mike or staff on that? If not, would someone want to make a motion to approve the MAPA work program and budget? So moved, please.
Second, Morrison.
Any further questions? Liz?
Morrison,
Yes.
Brett,
Yes.
Luke,
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Shudak,
Yes.
Winquist,
Yes.
Kennedy.
Yes, and I will just mention, I know that, Mike gives an overview in 15 minutes and the board appreciates the days and months and year that it takes for them to present it to us today in such a concise way that we can understand it. But I know the entire staff is involved and I appreciate everything you guys do to put this into, a form that we can all understand. And on top of that, the very good audits that we've had recently, we've made so much advancement in how the budget is presented to us, the details, and then at the same time, the really good audits, especially in the last 5 years or whatever. It's noticed, it's not taken for granted, so thank you. Any discussion from the board on any topic? If not, I would call this meeting adjourned, and I hope everybody enjoys a good summer. And we'll see everybody in a month or so.